Hi gamers, it's SFG here, and we're taking a look at another first up video. We're taking a look at a game here called Dwarf Fortress. You may have heard of this, you may have played this. It's been in development for the best part of 2 decades, so it's an existing game. And it's a game that's pretty close to my heart actually. I've played this, I probably haven't played it for the last, I want to say, it could be about 5 years I haven't played this game since, but I've flirted with Dwarf Fortress probably for the last 15 years I want to say with. I first come across it and I've kind of had bouts of getting obsessed with it, stopping playing, getting obsessed with it, stopping playing, and doing a bit of that on loop. It's the most complex game that I've ever played in my life, and the level of simulation in this game I think is unmatched from anything. One of my good friends actually describes this game as the closest game to art, and I don't think they're far off. I've got to be honest, I think they're pretty close with this, because this game is, the level of detail and intricacy in this game is, like I say, it's unmatched. You just cannot get it in any other game, and that leads to great narrative stories, which is what I particularly love in gaming. So this title I really have a lot of love for. So I'm saying, it's a new game, but I've played it 15 years ago. How is this? Well, the game was actually released for free for a very long time, and this is the Steam release that I'm playing here. So you can still get it for free actually, I believe, from the forums, I suspect. But the game has been released for a very long time, and what the developer has done, Tarn Adams, I want to say Toady One, what he has done is he's added a UI, music, better graphics, really sort of G'd the game up for the modern audience, I suppose. The game, and it might not look it when we get into it in a second, but the game is vastly improved graphically and UI wise from when I last played it, even like 5 to 3 years ago. To give you an idea, the previous graphics in inverted commas were just text, right? It was just literally like this. It was just text to define the various state of the world and what was in the world, which could be quite confusing to a large number of people, I think. I really love this game. So what I'm going to do is we're going to create a world first. I'm going to talk about that, what that means, and we're going to do that together. Then I'm going to do sort of the first very early start of the game and talk through what I'm looking at and some of the things we can find in our expedition force of dwarfs. And then I'm going to talk about what I'm planning for the future with this game and how I'm going to look to take it forward on the channel. So let's create a world first, as I say. And this, we're going to skip, you can read this at your leisure, but it's just a bit of an introduction here. So what you do is you create a world, and then in the standard setup, you'll place your dwarfs in it, or your group of dwarfs, I should say. There's 7 to start with normally. And then you will try and survive as long as you can. That's the aim of the standard Fortress game, as you will see in a second. And trying to, there's a few other ways you can play as well, but we'll get into them when we get to them. There's an adventure mode that's not released on this Steam version just yet, where you take the role as an individual character and you're trying to survive as long as, similar thing, trying to survive, trying to eke out a story with those. There's also a mode where it's not really a game as such, but it's called Legends, and you look at the history of the world that you create. So detailed is this world that even the history of it is super intricate. So we're going to do a small world here. You can see the history and so on, and we could tailor all this if you wanted. There's advanced settings we could play with too. I'm not going to go into that just yet. We're going to leave this as it is. I'd recommend doing a smaller, even smaller world to begin with. It loads a lot quicker. Large, I wouldn't necessarily. I wonder if it comes, no warning, but it probably should. Yeah, it'll take, the longer you load, the more time you put into it as well, the longer it'll take. So 100 years, small. And you've got mods there as well, but I haven't got any mods in this game just yet. This released on the 6th of December. It's currently the 9th of December I'm recording this, so it's a fairly recent, and I had to get it straight away. I've tried to get a number of games that I thought were similar to this, but with better graphics, or similar to the original, if you like, the non-Steam version. And they never had they never gave me that same love that I get for this game. They couldn't capture me in the same way, and I can't even describe why. I think it's just I think it is that complexity and that depth of characters. It's so deep, and I love it for that. So the world is generated now. We have our world. Look, here it is. Here's our little world. And as you can see, there's different elements. There's Arctic up here, very cold glaciers, that's freezing. There's tundra here, shrubland, temperate shrubland. We've got different areas here. So what we'll do is we'll play now. And as you can see there, it had a little bit of history, a abridged version of the history on the left there. Doesn't tell you everything, just tells you the sort of base level information. But even, I don't know if you saw the numbers there, but there was like thousands of individuals, thousands of events that happened. Here's your different options for how you want to play Fortress. This is effectively survival mode with your pack of dwarves. Adventure is that mode I talked about earlier, the pseudo RPG. And then you've got Legends, which is the finding out the story of the world. We're going to go Fortress. It's going to do a number of weeks here to get us into it. Quick start and short tutorial. So I'd recommend this if you're new to the game without question. Or even if you're not new to the game, to be honest, I found it very, very useful. I'm not going to do it again. I did record doing the tutorial and it slowed things down that I didn't want slowing down. So we're going to skip it, but I'd highly, even if you played the game before, I'd very, very much recommend it. Gives you a little warning there. As it says, try and avoid aquifers if they exist. They can be problematic. Now, what we're doing here is, I'm hovering my mouse over because I want to find a good place to embark. Okay, we don't want to go up to the glaciers or the shrub because it'd be too cold. We'll freeze, or potentially freeze. Unless you want to challenge your game, of course. So too here, look, it's cold down here too. In the middle, it could be too hot. We could get way too hot there. And as you can see, sometimes there's locations with other fortresses, such as this one. Otungadil, what's that say? Shock Walls, Dwarf Fortress. We've got Stolt Ads, Shuss, Roast Trammels, Human Castle there. All this is procedurally generated, as you might imagine. Isaac Vuli, Thinned Line, Tomb. Curious. So the surroundings as well, if you can see the surroundings there at the bottom, so you've got tropical shrubland, scorching, trees, woodland, other vegetation, moderate, surroundings, calm. The surroundings can sometimes be other things than calm, like wilderness. They can sometimes be haunted or spooky or sinister. That can cause you problems, and I quite like doing that actually. I quite like doing games into those areas because it can be very fun and very challenging. I might go wilderness just to see what we can find. But you want trees too, you want to have some trees here. So it's warm, we've got woodland, we've got moderate vegetation. I would like thick vegetation now, it's heavily forested, warm. This is a nice place. Stream, the shriek plants, the gravel. Okay. Light aquifer though, that kind of stinks. Yeah, we've got no... We don't want an aquifer, they can be problematic. Water underground can cause you issues when you're digging. Warm, no, there's another location there. Elven Forest Retreat, okay. These, I don't think these existed when I last played. Little soil, heavily forested though. Or we could go for a mountain home here. Warm though, warm, hot. So you want temperate temperature ideally, that's the ideal. See the green, that's the perfect, if you like, settings. We've got an aquifer though, we don't like that. Some soil. Got goblins a day away. Let's try this. So we'll click on this location, the evaporated jungle, the infallible continent. Okay, it's warm. Is there anywhere that's offering spooky? Doesn't look like we've got any spooky areas here. Any haunted places, which isn't a shame as such, but it would have been nice to show you that. Ah, sinister. So this will be tough, right? No trees. And sinister. I'm so tempted. We'll do this another time. I'll go on a sinister one. We'll do a playthrough of that and I'll show you. It doesn't last long. Doesn't take too long to do the old sinister. So we've got woodland here. We've got long aquifers. Aquifers are a bit more complex in terms of the gameplay. You want to, you can play there, but it's makes things a little more thoughtful when you're doing so. Let's go here. Got a little bit of soil. Got a nice bit of vegetation. Oh, it's a bit hot though. Got somewhere warm. Onion Thirst. Excellent name. Clay as well, that's fairly useful. Okay, we'll go here. So, Click Embark to place your fortress. Where are we thinking? So we click Embark and then we'll decide exactly where. So we've clicked on that map and it's brought up, zoomed us into this section now. And then we can click Embark and we can place our fortress. This is where our fortress is basically. So on the part of the map that we are going to most heavily play. Is there a stream? Aquifer zone. I don't like them. The adorable style. Nice. Where's that brook? Let's see if we can find the brook here. Little soil. Well, you want soil ideally. And you also want vegetation if you can get it. This looks good to me. Fluxstone as well. It's hot though. Warm. We want warm. If we can get it. This looks better. I can't get the water though. Tropical moist brutal forest. Right, okay. Let's go here. Or do we just stick it here? Bit of soil. That's what you expect when you're on a heavily forested though. Are we bothered about soil? Do you want to farm? That's the question you got to ask yourself when you're picking your expedition point. What sort of dwarves do we want to be? So this is another thing. This is where it comes into the player-led, decision making and aim of the game. What do you want to? How do you want to play the game? What do you want to achieve while you're playing this? And how do you want to achieve it? I think this is taken. Yeah, this is a dark elven pits. You don't want to go there. That would be very nasty. I don't even think we can go there. The game will probably let us actually. It's fairly flexible. Let's go here. Oops. Let's go here where it's warm. Oh, I really want to go in the mountain. I'll just go here. So you can prepare for the journey, which means you're going to select individually the skills and the equipment, etc. of your dwarves. That's the once you experience, that's probably the way to do it. It's a better way to do it, I'd suggest. You can change the enemies and the economy here as you wish. I'm going to just play now. So it's going to prepare the map and it'll throw us in. Then I'm going to immediately pause and show you what we're looking at and give you a rough idea. So, a dwarven outpost, you've arrived after a journey from the mountain homes to the forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost with the glory of all Igathamost. There's almost no supplies left, but we stay at labour becomes sustenance, whether by bolt, plough or hook, provide for your dwarves. You were expecting a supply carriage for the winter entombs you, this is standard. But it is spring now, enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the jaguars get hungry. Oh, that changes, interesting. It was jackals? Coyotes, I think, earlier. A new chapter of Dwarven history begins, here at this place. Morullegon, Pagewandered, strike. That's the name, by the way, of our Dwarven home, right? That's what we're calling the place. So, Morullegon. Okay, let's do this. Let's pause a second. Space is paused, by the way. So, what can you see here, right? I guess a few things are obvious. There's a camel there, there's a cat here, there's a horse, there's a donkey. A mule, rather. There's various other characters here. We've got Tun, a fisher dwarf, we've got a planter and so on and so forth. We've got a broken cart there. And then you're probably going, what the hell are these? Well, this, my friends, are trees. They're the stumps of trees. And if I scroll... So this game is played on a 2D plane, but it's a 3D game. So there's actually a Z level, which I'm going to scroll through now. And as you can see, these trees, look, they start forming. And then you can see, oh, it's a tree. I'll go back down again. And you can see where that tree originates from. Okay. I'm going to zoom out with control of the mouse wheel. I'm going to have a look at this world here. I'm not going to type anything just yet. We're going to leave that. Accidental button press there. So that's off map. And this is our play space. This is where we play the game, right? This is where we enjoy our settlement. Now, there's a lot of, as we can see, there's a lot of, is this water? Murky pool, okay, stagnant water, lovely. So there's a lot of grass here, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to start digging, as you might do with dwarves. So I'm going to dig in. And this is going to be the entrance to our... Actually, maybe we should dig it somewhere like... Let's dig it in here like this. There we go, like this. We'll dig in. Love is a three digger there. So somebody's gonna come over, rather somebody's gonna come over and dig this out for us. We're gonna build a few rooms off of this too. Something like this to store stuff in. Nice. And then we're gonna take a look at the world around us and see what's happening. Now this is a calm world. It should be fairly peaceful to start with. Things can change, and the beauty about this game is the change really is player driven. So as particularly me, as you get greedy, or in my case as you get sort of restless and you want to do more things, well, you'll end up potentially achieving those things, but maybe it's a bit of a problem for your dwarves. You might cause problems for them. So these have got to span multiple elevations, as you can see. So we're going to dig a few Z levels down there with our stairs. Just scroll up and down the Z levels, and the dwarves then are going to try and dig that out and dig downwards. So yes, the game, what will happen is the general way the game flows is that you'll start a colony, you'll hopefully survive your first winter, and you'll start progressing, and then you'll start wanting to get better stuff, right? You want better kit for your dwarves, you'll want better food, better clothes, everything else, right? And you'll start being a bit more adventurous, and the more to get the better stuff, you need to go deeper and deeper into the earth, as you can imagine. The deeper you go, the more dangerous it becomes, and eventually a horrible creature is likely to pop up, and in my experience anyway, ruin your dwarves' day and cause untold havoc. Things can go wrong much quicker than that, but that's the general way that it tends to play out in my experience. In terms of the complexity and depth of this game, I'm just going to click on a dwarf and show you the sort of stuff that you can see. Where are our dwarfish friends? So look, here's our dwarves. We've got a miner, a woodworker, a mason, a stonecrafter, a fisher dwarf, a planter, and an expedition leader. Let's look at Zaneg Bomrek Tatlosh here. Now this is the sort of information we can get just on this dwarf, and this is the same for almost every dwarf in the game, so, or certainly any adult dwarf. So we can see here they've got an overview here. They're 82 years old, female, healthy, expedition leader, squad non, no met needs, yes, adequate organizer, great. I've been rained on, it's annoying. Okay, she's annoyed while caught in the rain, cool. Here's some of the quick skills and the general way this person is, if you like. So value self-control, poor analytical ability, impatient, austere, not creative, and intolerant. We click on relations. They've got a deity here, Uja, close friend, close friend, kindred spirit, close friend. They can get married, they can have romantic relations, they can have affairs and so on in this game. See groups they belong to: the Scraped Town, forgive me, the Fatal Fellowship, the Canyons of Feed, and the Canyons of Feed Expedition Legion. Interesting. So this is a civilization, the Scraped Town. You can see their thoughts. Recent thoughts, she's annoyed. Memories, can't see those just yet, she hasn't got any. Personality, look at this. She has a feel for music and a good spatial sense, but she has poor focus, little difficulty with words, and meagre ability with social relationships, poor creativity, little patience, and a lazy intellect. Oh, great, okay. She presents herself modestly and frowns on any flashy accoutrements. She's made deeply uncomfortable by differences in cultural appearance. She likes to brawl. She often, and all of this can be seen in game, by the way. Everything I'm reading to you is literally a part of their character, like it's a part of their stats, as it were. And these things can change as well. I like this, her hands are animated when she speaks. Maybe not every part, but certainly a lot of it. But this could change too. So let's say that I just the dwarves get better at jobs the more they do them, the more they experience them. So if I had her perpetually working on smoothing and then engraving walls, she'd become an expert at that. She may start to enjoy it or hate it, depending on her personality. Like many dwarfs, she needs alcohol to get through the working day. She likes working outdoors and grumbles all in mining in current weather. Well, she's grumbling now. Here's her values. She personally values self-control and finds leisure time wasteful. She dreams of creating a great work of art. That can be important. Preferences, she likes galena, aluminium. These are all materials, effectively. Aquamarine, desert lime, wood. Crystal glass, giant magpie leather, the colour taupe. Macy's goblets. You can see all of this, right? You know, and if she gets, and if these things are in the fortress, or if she owns them, even better, she's happier, right? The sound of the bewilderment of scintillating. I don't even know what that means. Needs. Okay, she hasn't got any unmet needs, but this is the same. This level of detail exists for every single dwarf. Now, there are 7 dwarves here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a let's play on this game. If 7 of you would like to chime in terms of taking a few characters, you can either comment below and I'll add you to the game, or I'm going to let's play this at some point. I've finished work now for the year, which is good for me, right? But I'm gonna be able to cover a lot more of Shadows, and this game I think I'm going to cover as well a lot more regularly. So I'm going to do a couple of let's play series side by side. I'm going to have Shadows, I'm going to have this. If you want to get involved in any of those, obviously let me know, and I can make you a little character in the game, and hopefully, no promises, but you might survive. Let's go back to where we're digging. Let's take some trees. So chop down some trees. We're going to chop Just drag and select. We're going to gather some plants. Get the dwarves working. There we are. They're all getting gathered. You can only gather alive plants. You can't gather dead ones. This is a bit risky gathering plants sometimes. You can run into fauna that isn't happy to see you, but it is what it is. And as you can see, you've got various buttons down here that are the tools of the game, as it were. So I'm going to unpause with space. The dwarves are just going to automatically go about their job, like many games like this. So the crafters will start crafting, the miners will start mining, etc, etc, etc. Start just doing things to suit. What floor is this? Shale. Oh, that's curious. No soil indeed. So we may struggle with farming in this. Oh, we've got some silt. A tiny one patch. We'll see. This might be an interesting game. So we can see they're gathering, they're experiencing things here. The cats are running around, causing a mock. Ah, we've got some silt. Okay, we're okay, I think. Is this water? Gypsum. That's fine. So all of this different material you can use in the game as well, right? And you can create things out of different materials. And as we've seen, that'll make some of our characters happier or not, depending on their personality traits and what they like. Got some finger lime wood logs. That's good, because I think it's lime wood as well. Excellent. Because I believe one of our rye will take that as well, if you don't mind. This is all effectively food, or certainly the rye is. We can use that. We can also use that for brewing, which is of course crucial for dwarves. So just as a sort of very vague ideas here. So the dwarves have a number of needs that might not be normal in some of these survival games. One of those needs, which you could probably expect, it's a bit stereotypical these days, but is alcohol. And they start with a lot of beer on their expedition, but you will definitely want to get them more. And that can become a key component of whether they're happy, whether they stay, whether they leave. You can see people are getting happier because they're working, they're doing things. But that can be a key component of whether your dwarves stay and whether you indeed get new dwarves to your location. The key things really is to get them fed and get them watered with booze, right? So what I'm doing now is I'm making a stockpile. I'm just going to put everything in here. So you drag and select the area. We'll accept that. We'll put everything. I want everything, but I don't want to put in corpses. So we don't want corpses in there. Let's do all for now. I don't think we've got any corpses, but I may have to. Where's corpse? Custom. None. We don't want any corpses. Fine. Done. Excellent. Right, and you can see all the dwarves now are going to bring these things into this one big stockpile that we have. Our other dwarf, bless him, is trying to dig all this out. He's by himself doing it on his own. He's doing a good job though, he's trying his best. What we're also going to do is going to dig out a bit of this, just around here, see what we've got there, and then we're going to try and hopefully... Oops. We're going to also dig this way, I think. I'm going to search for a bit of an area I might be able to make maybe some underground farms. Is what we're going to try and do. It's not desperate, I do have obviously the ground here that I can use. But ideally you want to go underground to keep, well I like to keep everything underground because I think it's fitting for dwarves, right? Curious as to why these aren't. Let's not do that. Yeah, there should be stairs. He's going down, like we can see, we've got quite a lot of stone. Jets as well, we've got some... Oh, excellent. So we're getting notifications on the left here. We've got tiger eye, blue jade, borax, kaolinite, magnetite, jet and gypsum. That can be good for trading. And we've got weather. The weather's cleared, lovely. Right click to get rid of this. Right click to dismiss. So as you can see, they're all here stocking up on the things that we've just... These stones will have to be stocked up too. We've cleared this out. I'm going to make... God, I hate the way this looks. Can I make a floor? Floor. What's this? Shale, I think. Is it shale? Hold up, what's this? It is shale. I need shale then. Because I'm not having the floor look like that. That is a right state. Can be quite painful if you have particular, am I allowed to say OCD? Well, I guess I think I have it, so I suppose so. But if you've got a certain feelings along those lines, it can make you, it can set you off. Okay, we can I get 3 of those? That sucks. We surely have more than 3 shale. Curious. What's this? Silt, okay. We're going to need a workshop regardless of what happens with this floor, so... Yeah, this is all shale, lovely job, right, okay. Gypsum, gypsum. I'm not going to cover the floor in jade, I don't think. As much as the game might like me to. Silt, that is useful for our potential. Don't know how much is there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a workshop. Workshops here. And we're going to go for the carpenter. I may well just keep it outside for now. It's not the best. No, actually, we'll just stick it out of the way. We'll build it out of this custard apple, I think. Different materials can affect, again, the quality of the building that's being built. So this dwarf here is going to build that now. This planter, thank you, sir. Is this all silt? Lovely. Bit of gypsum as well, though. Okay, we've got some more borax, nice. And then you click on your carpenter's workshop and you can set your dwarves to doing tasks. I'm just going to pause it at this state. So, tasks that you might want to do to begin with are things like digging out bedrooms. You can either give them like a communal room, like a barracks type situation, or you can give them individual rooms. I prefer to give them individual because I think it's nicer for them. And I'm sad like that. But you don't have to, you can do it as you wish. You might want to build them chairs, tables, give them somewhere to eat and gather. One of the key things I like to do as well is to build bins, barrels and wheelbarrows. It sounds really boring, but all of those things are super useful for just transporting and moving things. You can get incredibly complex in this game, to this, not just in terms of, as you can see, the simulation and the characters and the depth of those, but also in terms of I could have a stockpile just dedicated to a particular type of refined resource that will feed into another workshop that only deals in that particular resource, or a resource from that particular stockpile. And you can automate a lot of things. You can have minecarts, you can have people have literally flooded the map with magma, had all sorts of crazy. The simulation is so complex, and the various, I guess, natural elements of the world, if you like, water, magma, rock, soil, you know, it'll all act as you maybe not expect. I don't think in all cases, but it will act in a realistic way, in inverted commas. And doing certain things, you can literally set up a scenario where you have like a winch to pump magma out and just spew magma everywhere. You can set up, you can quite easily flood a location using various setups. There's quite a lot of very advanced actually stuff you could do in this game in terms of manipulating natural resources. But to start with, you just want to survive, right? So you want to be adding a task. We don't need a bed just yet, but I do like to make myself, like I said, a couple of barrels. There must be a way I can add more than one of these. I surely don't have to click individually like this. Bins are the are barrels effectively, but for physical goods rather than liquids. Maybe might make some wooden blocks as well. I could do with probably a bucket or two. That's the lot for now. We've got anybody's free to use it, but I can assign dwarf, so whoever's the most skilled would work. A proficient carpenter here. So he's going to be the person. Logum is going to be our woodworker here. I can't do any work orders because I haven't got a manager yet. But we're gonna. Oh, I can do 5. Sorry, hold up. No, I can't. Gutted. But he's just going to start making this, as you will soon see. And what we're also going to do is we're going to make a stockpile around this to designate this as wood. Just wood. Thank you. And they'll bring wood, just this location, and take anything else out of it actually as well. There we are, the wood's getting brought in here. It makes it easier for him to do his stuff. Now, I'm by no means a master of this game, by the way. I didn't proceed to do something. Some of the stuff people have done is absolutely crazy. So complex. And impressive. I didn't quite get there. I'd prefer just to play and have a bit of a a more narrative experience, as I've described. But yeah, there's some really, really intense things you could do here. Wheelbarrow, we need one of them, or maybe 2 of them actually. Help us transport those heavy old blocks, these heavy, is this our bin? Yeah, look, so they're putting stuff in the bins, right? That's a splint. Why don't you show me the bin? Well, there'll be a way to look at that, I'm sure. So they're going about their business. As you see, you can't directly control dwarves. To a degree, you can. There are some ways you can sort of directly control them, but it's a bit sketchy. So you can't really. What I might have to do is just dig this out so it looks a bit more symmetrical. And I think we're also going to. This looks like. That looks like stone to me, but we're going to try our luck with it, see what's here. So we've got a ton of wood here. Logum is going around doing his good stuff. He's making some wooden things. So we've got a couple of dwarves just sleeping. They're knackered, bless them. What is this? Magnetite, okay. Shale. Limonite, gypsum, okay, curious, jet. Chalk, probably not the best to build. Building, we've got shell. Let's dig out some of this. And my fortresses always tend to be fairly overly neat, probably, to be honest. 2 degree. They won't whinge, they will later start whinging about having to sleep outside, but eventually they'll get over that. Let's do some no digging if you don't mind. Add new task. You can make some more. Bins are so important. Especially just for storing resources more than anything. So we've got a bit of, oh, no, yeah, we haven't got much. Haven't got much in the way of, can I now, oops, I want constructions, I want a floor. Oh, I can't build because of the flipping stockpile, what a shame. Oh well, that's just going to have to annoy me forever. It is what it is. So, let's see what we're looking at now. Yeah, the video is getting a bit, not long, but I don't want to make this an super intense video. So we're going to start wrapping things. Let's just build a few beds for them. While they're waiting, they can always, sleeping in a bed ain't no bad thing. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll have one more, 7, one for each of them. As you can see there, you can push things up the queue if you wish, if you want on ASAP. I'm going to make some doors. Wooden door. Once we get a manager, we can actually we could set them to build, for example, 5 doors or 6 doors or whatever, you know, rather than have to do them individually like this, or at least I believe so. We'll always keep X number of doors in storage. So yes, we'll get some doors out because that'll be important for when they want privacy. Dwarves. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Maybe 1 or 2 more. Some of them get irritated if they can overhear the sound of other work being done over their work, which is tragic, but it is what it is. So yeah, as I say, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to leave our little Pagewandered outpost here, just as it is for now. 18th of Fellsite, late spring, year 100. So if you wish, please come back and join me, and we'll be continuing this game. I'll put a post about when I'm going to continue the Let's Play. And if you subscribe and you follow me, you'll get a notification about when that's gonna happen, when it's gonna go live. But I'm hoping to continue this, so if you want to be one of the characters, one of the dwarves, obviously let me know. If you want to be, maybe if you don't get a dwarf, you could perhaps be an animal, what have you. We will get more dwarves as the game goes on. Hopefully that served as an interesting introduction to this game. There's a ton to do in this. It's not... If I was to do this properly, the video would be 7 hours long, and I don't think anybody wants to watch that. So we will... What I'm going to do is, as I say, continue this game moving forwards in the Let's Play, and I'll be able to show you some of the more advanced mechanics, and no doubt I'll lose, and it'll be quite hilarious, I would have thought. But hopefully we'll get a nice story to tell. We'll see our little dwarves, see how long they can survive, see what they think of the various places, and see how they get on. So there we are, we've got somebody who's become a carpenter. Great. Lovely job. So we'll expand our little fortress out. I'll make some nice bedrooms, and we'll see how happy we can make them before it all crumbles to dust. But I can't recommend this game enough, and hopefully the Let's Play will show you how much this game is. It's similar to Shadows in that it's a super unique, and if you know this channel, you know that I cover Shadows. If you're new here, please check out my other videos on a game called Shadows of Forbidden Gods. It's a very, very unique game, similar to Dwarf Fortress in that respect, but the complexity in this is just it's staggering, to be honest. There's so much here, and it's fantastic. The level of simulation I don't think you can get in anything else, to be perfectly blunt. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you on the next video. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. Please subscribe, hit that bell notification number, little pop-up thing popping up any time now. If you'd like to become a channel member, you can do that too. And hopefully I will see you on the next video. Take care.